when it comes to being present, I've just not practiced it. Like I've just never, does that make sense? Like I've never put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
And on the podcast, really, like whenever in our lives in 2023, do you get to just like stop and talk to someone for an hour or two?
Yeah.
Like I don't do that during the day anytime, and except for this.
Yeah.
And so like I love this because it's made me like slow down. It's me and you. We're in this studio. We're with Blue Form. Of course, they're in the next room listening to us.
Yeah, they are. Hey.
But it's like even when I have like my buddies on, like I just had Tyson Coford on 2 episodes ago, and we talked about this marketing thing that we did with my store. And it's like even me and him, we talk often because he runs all my social media with the store. He does all my marketing websites, all that. But like we never just sit down and chat. And it never happens. And I don't do it with anybody. And maybe I'm weird. Maybe other people do that, but I don't.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you're weird. I think there's a lot of people that can relate with that. And I think that you can turn it into a conscious practice. Like, and you did. You consciously decided to do this. And it's a yes for you. And it's still a yes for you. It may not always be a yes for you, but it is tonight. And you showed up, and it is going to be maybe next Tuesday and Monday.
Yeah.
Mondays.
We don't have a set day we record, so.
Fine. It's a day in
next
a
week.
Yeah. So it's, I think that is incredibly relatable to what most people probably think about. And I think that it's also what's so attractive when you do hear it and you do have these moments, because it ignites this thing inside of us that's like, ooh, I want more of that. Mm-hmm. How do I get more connection with the people that I am around that are my yeses? You know, like, and then we can start to maybe cut off a little bit more of what are the draining or the things that are not as big of yeses to us, you know? Because when we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. So it's like, what are my yeses? And we can, without expectations, instead just being drawn from this like, oh, I liked that. How do I create more of that?
Yeah, I think that I'm very anxiety ridden through my life, like my childhood and stuff.
Yeah.
And it goes along with that projecting, because I mean, they say like anxiety comes from the future, depression comes from the past.
Yeah.
And so I'm always putting that out there in the future, which gives me anxiety. Right.
Yeah.
And so since I've even done the podcast, like last few years and having a kid for 3 years, like just being, it sounds so dumb to say out loud, but just being present, how much it's changed my life. And because I I wasn't present for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now I'm forced to every week. Well, I force myself to, but I'm forced to every week.
I love that.
And it's changed. It's changed me.
Yeah.
And you've got teenagers, right?
Yes, I do.
When's the last time that they sat down? And I don't know, maybe they do with their friends. I don't know. I'm just thinking like in the electronic world now.
Yeah.
Like when are they ever sitting down and doing this? Like I didn't know you till you got here today, right? We met at the doorstep.
Yes, we did.
And it's like we already have this instant connection.
Yeah.
And I just think like we need more of that. And so many people aren't getting that.
Yeah. And I think that hopefully what these things do, like the person listening to this, like they may not be sitting at the table with us and being like, all right, we're going to like connect with these two people, but they can think of who they do want to reach out to.
Right.
And the community that now they can be active participants in being, and that's what's so great too about being able to like getting out of our comfort zone. Because when we get out of our comfort zone, it gives permission for others. Like, oh, Jane and Derick, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just like taking a baby step to the next thing. And so then it gives them permission to be like, maybe I say yes. And maybe I spend a little bit longer talking to someone about something that here's the thing. I remember when I was writing my memoir, it brought me back to times that like Jane is loud. She has a very big energy. Like my family didn't know what to do with me. Like my mom thought I was deaf. Like I went to tons of ENT doctors because she was like, no one just talks this loud. Like there's something wrong with the way that she is like, I was always fine. My hearing's great. And then it just instilled this like, well, what's wrong with me? And I was just this like very active. I have this energy that is like, I've had to learn how to like hone her in when I'm in certain things, even doing hair, because I can get so loud and then the whole salon's like, Jane.
They're like, it's just Jane.
Yeah. But so I need to, but, and it's not that I made wrong. It's just that I'm learning that like, whoa, I don't want to take over anybody else's energy either. So it's like, we have these things, whatever our too much is, right? Mine was like too big, too loud, too like asking too many questions. Maybe others are, I'm too sensitive, like I felt too much, I was too sad, or I thought too much, or I like whatever our too much is, we've created these masks that like keep us safe. Because when we allow that space, like when I would go in deep conversation within like peers that were like, I'm, 13, 14, 15, asking questions about the universe. And like, do you see things in your imagination all the time too? And don't you want to do all these things? And they're just like, you're weird. I think this boy's cute over here. Yeah. And I'm like, well, yeah, the boy's cute. But did you know? Like, it just was like I never felt that I could fit in. And I think that that is everyone in a space. We've all created these masks. So when you start to see, like when I was going through the process of writing my book and I was like getting honest with myself, I'm like, wow, when did I start taking off these masks? When did I start to get brave? And I'm continually shedding them the more that I get to know myself and take times in those moments. But I think that that's something that it's scary as all else because we don't have answers. And like when we're in the present and we're like, ooh, but I know what Jane was. Like if I'm gonna share that Jane's this like loud and all the things, like that person might reject me and I don't have any masks anymore. Like if I share to my spouse that I'm terrified of what the future holds, I don't know where we're going to be at in 20 years. Like my business is like took a hit or all these things, like these insecurities where we feel like we're supposed to show up and we are scared. It's like, it's almost like there's this shield that goes up that we're like, all right, well, if I don't look at it and I just like know that I can do this, but then we don't have the support. So it's like, it's this weird dance. Oh, it's freaking life. Gosh.
Well, it's like being self-aware is the biggest part of that. I think you have to, if you didn't know that Jane was loud, right? Like how do you ever get down that journey of reining it in? It's interesting that you said like, because I see people like you and like our last episode that we had, like as soon as you guys come in the door, it's just, you pump us up, like, and again, I don't know why I keep referencing this, but like we've been working all day, like we're all tired. And then we get around personalities like you and it's like, oh, we're ready to roll. Yeah. But you had said that like that could steal other energy. What do you mean by that? Like what, can you dive into that? Cause I'm just curious.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
In my eyes, like when you come, people like you or your energy, big energy comes around, I just get hyped. Oh. And so I'm like, I wonder, so what am I not realizing on the other side of that?
That's a fabulous question. And it's one that I've recently been exploring. I think it is not as obvious when it is a first time meet or it's the daily stuff for me that it tends to be a little bit more known in that way. Because say if I'm having this really cool conversation with my client in my chair and we're like talking and there's blow dryers and all the things, if I am like unaware that like now my energetic voice is trying to match these blow dryers in the background, I rob from the special moments that my coworkers are having with their clients because my energy can get so big. So if it's like it's awareness in that way. Or if I come home and I am like oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And like maybe my daughter has been having a really off day and she was feeling really insecure. And she was, to her, like, it's just reading the energy of the room of how I can maybe use my superpower of having big energy and instead be like, oh, I'm going to shift this. I'm going to like move into this space of having my big energy be into like my heart space.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just holding energy, because she might not want to talk to me, but it's like, it's just being self-aware, I think, in that.
Well, and it's that you're controlling it now. I like that because you're like diving deeper into it, that it's not your subconscious taking over. Like you're actually controlling that personality to benefit your daughter or whatever the situation is.
Yeah. And in relationship too, like in romantical relationship, it's also been that like I think my partners have felt like they have needed to like match that energy. Like I can't hold that energy like you can. And it's like, so for me to now like be so like aware that it's like, you don't have to. You do your energy because that's your superpower, but also allow me the space to hold my energy because that's my superpower. So it's like I'm learning, you know, thank you divorce, I guess, because it like gives you so much hindsight. But you know, if my ex and I will talk, I'm like, you know, it's healthy for us to be able to talk of like, oh, like I could have taken space away when I needed that. Like instead of like now I know I need to wake up at 5 a.m. and I need to like move or look at the sunset or like connect with myself because I am very much as I am extrovert, I'm very much introvert. Like,
isn't that funny?
It's so funny. Oh man, like if I'm always with people, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm so done. I need to like, I cannot talk one more second.